O MTB Pass Gregário é apresentado por Jungle e Ultracoffee, a combinação que eleva sua performance. Plant Power. Perform your best.
Bem-vindo ao MTB Pass, um podcast que te leva para dentro do mundo do mountain bike. Eu sou a Viviane Faveri e trago aqui entrevistas com personagens do mountain bike mundial. O programa de hoje é muito, mas muito especial. Eu realizei o sonho de entrevistar a atual campeã olímpica Jolanda Neff. Essa suíça de 29 anos conquistou o ouro nos Jogos Olímpicos de Tóquio em 2021 de uma maneira que deixou todo mundo de boca aberta. Além da forma física e uma habilidade fantástica de performar na hora que mais conta, ela simplesmente voou nos trechos mais técnicos do percurso, dando um baita show de pilotagem. Nessa conversa, como de praxe aqui no MTB Pass, explorei aspectos subjetivos da performance, mas não deixei de perguntar também sobre as características físicas dela, como a cadência mais elevada, a facilidade de fazer largadas rápidas e se ela pretende fazer corridas de etapa no futuro, entre outras perguntas. Chega de delongas, com vocês, a grande Jolanda Neff. Jolanda, what did it take for you to win that Olympic gold medal?
Great question. I see we start at the deep end.
Yes.
It was a whole story around it. It was, for me, it was like two comebacks in one because I had like a bigger crash, like 1.5 years before the Olympics, where I ruptured my spleen, and then luckily I could recover from that. And then 6 weeks before the Olympics, I crashed at the World Cup in Leogang and I broke my hand. So that was just 6 weeks to go. So that was really like a race against the clock to come back in time to even be able to compete. I couldn't train on my mountain bike. And but at the same time, I was really calm and I was really just so happy because I was doing good trainings. I was feeling really, I could see progress in my hand every day. I could see how the swelling went down. I could see how it was recovering. So I could see all the progress, and I was in a really good headspace. I was really happy just how it was all going, and I was so happy to go to the Olympics and to be there and compete. And the year before, because of COVID, it was almost cancelled, so it was pushed back a year. So then to still have it, that it didn't get cancelled completely, only pushed back, that already made me so happy. And I was like, oh, this is so cool, we can have that. I did the test race in Tokyo in 2019 and I won the race on the same racetrack, so I knew the track was great and I was loving the track, and so I was so happy to come back there and stoked to race. And it was everything fell into place.
Yeah. If someone asked me, Viviane, what do you think about Jolanda winning that medal and what did it take her to do that? I think after following you and being inspired by you and analyzing you as a commentator for Red Bull, I would say that you're just happy to ride your bike, right? Yes,
totally. Like, that's so true. I love to ride my bike, and I'm just happy when I ride my bike. I really hope I can ride my bike for all my life and just keep riding, because it just makes me feel so good. I love it to be out in the nature. I love it to, sometimes you see an animal, you see the nature, the forest, just to be on a trail. It's like a dream to me. I love it so much. And that I race is like the natural addition maybe. And I love racing, of course. I love racing as well, but I also just love training and love to ride my bike. And yesterday, for example, I went on a bike ride and I got so happy during the bike ride just from riding my bike. I was so stoked. I couldn't stop riding, it was getting dark and the sun went down and I knew I should go home because I didn't have lights, but I just wanted to keep riding. And I really love it to ride bikes.
Is it a feeling you have when you do technical trails? Is it that momentum you get, the flow you get when you're riding the trails? Can you like find what triggers that feeling?
Yeah, to me, it's a great feeling. It's like a combination of speed, and then when you get a corner nice and you can come around quick and you link it up to the next one and it's fast and a lot of things are happening. And it's almost like in a computer game, like where things are flying at you and you need to like find the right way to do it. So it's like a computer game, but in real life. And yeah, it's so good. And yeah, I love to feel my heartbeat and feel alive and feel like, I'm taking in all the sensations and everything. It's like, it's the whole feeling together. It's really something I enjoy and I can never get enough of it.
Do you think that feeling can show up regardless how fit you are? For example, if you're not winning races, can you still feel that way?
100%. Everybody can feel that, even on your very first day of mountain biking. And the great thing about mountain biking, it's something for everyone. You can start mountain biking when you are 60 years old or when you are 6 years old. It's something for, that's very healthy for your body. It's good for the joints. It's not something where you damage anything of your body. And also it's very social. You can go together with other people and talk at the same time while you ride. So there is a lot of benefits coming of it already. But then also you can really experience that same feeling no matter which level you are at. Even if you are really good on your bike, you can always still learn more. You can always still go faster. There's like no limit, you can always improve. And already when you are having your very first day on a mountain bike, you will feel little things, and like, you can like lift your wheel a little bit, and the next day you can lift it a little bit more. And one day, you find a new way how to ride around a corner. And like for every single time on a bike, no matter if it's your first day or your 7,000th day on a bike, there is always things to feel great about, to learn, to experience, I would say for any level, it's a great sport.
I can totally connect with everything that you're saying. But talking about the injuries you had, like you had a really serious one when you broke your spleen and your life was threatened literally. And just the fact that you came back and you were riding again, and I was already amazed by it, and it was incredible to see you recover. But then what I saw on the following year was Jolanda pacing herself. Doesn't make sense. Like, how hard was it to pace yourself? Or were you like, okay, now I'm old enough, I understand, I have to respect this process? Because you were perfect. You were so in shape before the Olympics.
I think in 2021, I really found a new way how to look at it all and to realize that, as long as I am in a green zone, like it doesn't need to be perfect, everything. Like, I don't need to have 100% and only then I can be good. It's okay if I am in this zone of like 95 to 100%, I do what I can, but I am in this green zone kind of, and it's fine. And to really learn to relax about that and to have less stress, to be right there, but just to move in a good way. I would say that was my big learning point for 2021. And yeah, for sure, I think a part that got me there was in 2020, when I had the injury and I really had to take a lot of time without riding the bike and just to recover and come back. For sure, I was getting some patience there and I was learning to be more calm. And then I think in 21, it was really nice to come with more calmness into the season and be like, yeah, okay, I am doing my thing. I will do what I can, and it will either work out or not, but I wasn't stressed out. I was just like in the green zone and doing my thing. And that was such a great feeling.
Wow, that's incredible. We learned a lot just by watching you, and for sure a lot that the youngers can look up to. For when the youngers get hurt, they can definitely see what you did and learn from that. Although that recovering from the broken wrist 6 weeks before the Olympics, that's something really rare. It's not everybody is able to do that. So good job on that, for sure. You know something about recovery.
Yeah, it was funny because when I crashed there and we did the calculations that it would be exactly 6 weeks to the Olympics, I was like, okay, 6 weeks, that's perfect. If it would be 5 weeks or 4 weeks, it would be really too short. 7 weeks, you would be on the safe side, but with 6 weeks, we were really like exactly on the line of, okay, we can do this. A bone can heal in 6 weeks. And it was really, when I heard the news, I was like super motivated, and I was like, okay, I have 6 weeks. That when I went to the hospital and they told me the bone was broken, I was like, that's okay. It's only a bone.
It's not the spleen.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that was the first one. I was almost happy. I was like, okay, a bone, we can do that.
Oh my God, you're so optimistic. That's amazing. How is it for your family? Like your close relatives, is it a roller coaster for them too? Or did you earn this amazing optimistic vibe from your parents?
For sure, it's a roller coaster at sometimes, and especially for my parents, they knew me all my life, and they were with me at all times, and they can totally see all the lows and all the highs for sure. And it's a roller coaster 100%, like sometimes I wouldn't even say, not even with the injuries. Like I feel like the injuries, we always like had a really good mindset and optimistic outlook and all that. I would say it's more like other things that maybe happen or come up, and that where it's like a roller coaster that goes up and down. But in general, for sure, my parents have a really good mindset, and they really keep me on the floor. They make jokes with me, and they never tell me like, you are the best or you are the greatest. They always make a joke with me, like how can I put it? They keep me on the floor. They don't tell me just you're the best. No, they tell me the opposite, basically.
Okay.
They tell me like, okay, great, you won, but like this and this you could do a lot better. And I'm like, okay, that's actually true. So that keeps me motivated, to keep working and be like, okay, I can do this better.
And what did your mom say when she saw that picture of that huge drop you just did on the last downhill race you did?
Good question. I didn't even talk to her yet about this, but I think they were very happy after the race. I sent them a message and I said like, we finished the race. It was good. And I think they were very happy to hear that I made it without any problems. So
Is downhill racing something for fun that you're doing off season? Probably there are tons of people asking you the same question. Are you gonna race for real?
No, I am not planning to race any downhill World Cup. That's really not a plan. It's more I am here, where my boyfriend lives, and this bike park where the race was at is a new bike park made by Nico Mulali, who is also racing World Cups. And there was this race on last weekend, and Luca was of course gonna do it, and he said like, I'm going to this race. And so I just said like, I will come as well. It was it was really something for fun and more spontaneous, and it was really, really cool to try it, and I really enjoyed. It's something completely different. It's only 3 minutes, and it's very intense, and you need a full focus for 3 minutes. So that's really something I enjoyed, and that was really cool. But yeah, it's a fun little project for now, and it was really cool, but it's not something I want to follow up in the World Cups.
It's definitely good training for cross country, right? By the way, how did you manage to remove 30 seconds from your qualifying time? That's insane.
Yeah. Like a big part of it was the weather. So the race was on Sunday, and on Friday it was raining the whole day.
Okay.
And we were training in the rain, and it was really slippery. And on Saturday it was already dry, but still really sticky, and really muddy. And then on Sunday it was really dry. So like the pro men, they removed maybe like 10 seconds from their time from Saturday to Sunday. And for me, the difference was 30 seconds. So like a part of it was because of the weather, but also one part of it was because I took all the bigger jumps and drops on Sunday. And on Saturday, I actually went around one or two where it was really so slippery, on the takeoff, that I couldn't get the straight line to take off. And also the landing was so muddy and slippery. So on Saturday, I went around, and on Sunday it was more safe. And then I took all the A-lines. So that made a big difference.
And how did you build the speed for technical courses? What was, did you work on it on purpose when you were young? Is it, there is talent, there is amazing mobility. I see that you have an amazing mobility. You're completely aware of your body. You can do amazing things like a gymnast. Did you focus on developing your skills since you were young?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my mobility, I for sure have it because when I was a kid, I did not the gymnastics that I did rhythmic gymnastics, which is also at the Olympics, but it's not what Simone Biles does. It's what is, on the floor with the bands and the rhythmic gymnastics. That's what I did as a kid. That's why I have the flexibility for sure. And then, the speed, I would say the biggest part was my dad, because I was always riding with my dad when I was a kid, and we rode a lot of trails, and we had a great training group which my dad created and was training with us every week 2 times, no matter if it was raining or sunshine, or no matter if it was dark. We had some lights just all year round. We did really great training with my dad in this little group of other kids. And I think this is really what helped me so much to develop as a rider, especially on the cross country bikes, because we were on the cross country bikes all the time.
Yeah, and it's amazing what we can do on a cross country bike, even on enduro trails and downhill trails, which is something that not everybody realizes, right? Do you feel that you're in US right now?
A cross country bike is so different than a downhill or an enduro bike or a trail bike. And I feel most people who ride trails for fun or as a hobby, the natural thing to do is to get a trail bike, which I would do as well if I was riding, a nice trail in the forest. But then to do the same thing on a cross-country bike is so different because we have such a small suspension. We have tiny brake rotors. Everything is super light. The pedals, is like my crank rudder pedals are this small. So everything is so different, so on the edge of lightweight, that the skills you need to ride this bike are a lot more skills than you need to ride an enduro bike.
The one thing that it's not a question. It's just I don't even know how to put it. Being a commentator for Red Bull, a lot of people talk to me about the races and the riders and tracks and sections of the track, and comment photos of you, the riders. Sometimes people think you are too wild on your bike. You go too fast, too much. I have an opinion about it. Men sometimes is not used to being on weird positions on the bike. We are. Like the photo of you dropping the rock at the Olympic Games, for example. Like what you did there is amazing. Like, and then some people see that and they're like, no, Jolanda is crazy. She cannot do that. But dude, she can, and she does, and she's really good, you know? Do people talk about it with you?
So yeah, it's for sure true that like maybe when you see me on the bike, the first thing you maybe think is maybe wild. That's true for sure. But it's also a lot of fun and I enjoy it. And it's like what makes mountain biking also fun to me, when you go fast and you feel some adrenaline. And I would say for sure in the last year I have calmed down. I would say I really didn't have fingers crossed, touch wood, but I didn't have crashes anymore, and I felt like a lot of times I was really in control more of what I was doing. But 100% like the last 10 years until before last year I was very wild. Yeah, that's very true. But it's like it's also fun, so yeah.
What made you calm down, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I was thinking maybe I'm getting older and maybe I'm like trying to be more, maybe I became more wise and less wild. I don't know. That's the hope. But yeah, for sure. I always enjoyed to test the limits on my bike. And yeah, I think it's also something that, makes you feel alive. And gives,
And one thing a lot of people don't know if they're not on the races is that you really take the time to analyze the track and analyze lines and watch other people riding. And you're super curious. Apparently, you're super curious as well. Like you're open and you're checking other stuff. Has it always been like that? And because I have a feeling that you are the person that stays on the track the most. Don't you get tired?
That's cool. That's cool that you say that. Yeah, it's true. We really spend like the whole week leading up to the race. We spend on track and looking at lines and riding it all and, almost learning it. Exactly after this tree comes this rock and then this corner. And so, yeah, we spend a lot of time with that. I would say there is, for sure, there is like a massive benefit in knowing your lines. And the way we did it this year, we did not have a skills coach on the team. And nowadays, a lot of teams, they bring a skills coach, with the riders out on track. And the skills coach tells them exactly like, okay, you should go here, you should ride this, you should do that. And I think that's good in a way, if you just can rely on someone and they tell you, okay, you do this. But for me, it's actually so much fun. And I find it so exciting to go out completely by myself, completely alone. And I love to just ride the track alone and find my lines. And a lot of times I found lines this year that I swear, like nobody else in the race took it, like 100%. I found lines that were, and I was so proud about that. And I was so happy. I found lines, like I tested different lines and nobody even saw them, not even the man. And like a lot of times I came back to the house and I was talking to the guys of our team, Vlad and Riley and Anton. And I was saying like, oh yeah, I have this one line there. And they were like, really? Is that line? And like I showed them and they were like, yeah, okay. Sometimes I also didn't tell them a line and I just did it for myself. And I just like knew it was like really, really nice and fast line. And I think it's also something that you can learn, if you always have a skills coach who is just telling you, okay, you go here and here you go there, you don't learn it yourself to see the lines. And I think something that comes on top of that is when you ride a new trail where you have never been before, and in like a split second, you come around the corner and you see an obstacle, to decide in a split second, what are you going to do? How do you go over this rock and take this corner without stopping and looking at it, just deciding while you ride? I feel like that comes with it as well.
Yeah.
And for example, when you do a marathon race, then you cannot always check out the whole track and check out every route and every corner. And I feel then it's a skill. Whenever I did a marathon, I really enjoyed that I could really ride a trail with, so much flow and speed and enjoying so much, even when I didn't know it. And I think that comes together. That's like that's really an advantage.
That's awesome. And one point of view of this discussion, if you ride on a team that has the skills coach checking the lines and the riders, they don't really have to spend too much time on the track. Comparing to what you do, what they're doing is they are maximizing time where they are in a room and doing nothing, versus you are maximizing time where you are interacting with other people and learning and being open for life to happen. Like, there's the safe side of being conservative, and there's the risk of being out there on the track. Is that does it fit your personality? And like, do you get bored when you travel too much and you cannot really connect and be out there and interact with the terrain and with people?
Yeah, so I would say there is like two sides to it, because I work with a skills coach on the Swiss national team. We have Oscar Seitz, who's a very, very good coach, and I have been working with him for 9 years now. And so, for example, at the World Championships in Léger, he was there, and we did short track with him, and we did the cross country course with him. So, that was really helpful, at a race like that, where you maybe, really want to save time on track and really want to maximize the time where you are just recovering. I think that's great. But for example, at the World Cups, where we are there for the whole week anyways, for me, I feel like it's a great learning opportunity. And there I have so much fun really doing it by myself and exploring and hunting lines and also like seeing all the other people. I really love to interact with other riders and also like, other team, like mechanics and physios and team managers. Like, I know so many people on this scene. I have been racing World Cups now for, next year will actually be my 10th year racing elite World Cups. I have 10 years now, maybe. I started in 2013 on the elite World Cup.
Yeah.
So, I really enjoy that environment, and I really love to, soak it all in and be at the World Cups.
That's awesome. When we scheduled our conversation, I opened up a question box on my Instagram asking people what they would like me to ask you. And I got a few questions, so I cannot ignore them. I have to give them what they want. And so the first one is about for the fast starters like you. I'm not one of those, but my husband, Rafael, he is one of those as well. You have the ability to like just dig so deep and go all out so fast, so hard, and it's insane. How did you and how do you find that sweet spot where you can embrace that strength and go super deep, but you still hold back a bit not to dig a hole and, not recover from that?
That's a great question, because I also don't have the answer, because that's something I do wrong a lot of times. Like, the best example was Leogang this year, where I had a great start, but I went way too deep and I completely killed myself, and I was like way back in the field and I had like to make all my way back. So that's really something, to me, starting feels great and amazing, and I could just go forever. Until maybe 5 minutes, and then it's like, okay, this is the end. So for me, I really need to tell myself already after 2 minutes or maybe after 3 minutes, stop now and don't go even harder, because you will pay for it later. So I think having a good fast start is great, but I don't need to do it for 5 minutes starting fast. Like 2 minutes is okay. Whenever I had a race where I found a nice balance of having a good start and still staying fresh, then I also always had a really good rest of the race. So I would say that's really a key part to the race, to start fast but to not kill yourself.
Good. Another question A couple of people told me they wanted to know your point of view of your cadence, because you have a really special cadence. And for us who are looking at you, we almost feel like, dude, go a bit slower. We don't want you to kill yourself. But for you, that's natural, and that's your body, and that's how it works for you. Can you comment that a little bit?
Yeah, we have this joke, we have this joke that I always make with my boyfriend. We say that I am a 2-stroke motor. When on the dirt bike you have 2-stroke and 4-stroke. So we always joke because the 2-stroke motor only works when you have a high cadence.
Okay.
Like it doesn't even get the full power. And the 4-stroke is like you can turn the throttle and the power just goes up. But with the 2-stroke, you only get it when you spin it really high. So we always make this joke, and we always say like, on the bike, I am just like a 2-stroke. So really to get my power, I need to have a high cadence. And honestly, I think in a way it's true. I really think for my body, it's just like the natural way to pedal. It's not something that I want to do or that I tried to do. It's just like it happened like that. And my best power, I really produce my best power when I just pedal fast. And that's, I think it's just like a natural thing how my body works.
Yeah, it's amazing, because even when you stand up on the bike and you push up we would push a bigger gear and lower the cadence a bit. Even then you can keep your high cadence, and for humans like me, that burns my leg as a lot. But it's incredible that you can do that.
It's so funny because like I sometimes in training I even try to put a bigger gear and try to learn not to like pedal so fast, but it just whenever I race it goes back to really because for me that's just what happens naturally. And for me, my legs feel better when I pedal faster. Like they feel like less burning when I pedal faster. I don't know why, but it's just like it always like happens like naturally. So I don't know how to explain it.
Do you plan on doing stage races in the future?
You mean road bike or mountain bike?
Mountain bike.
That's a great question. I was just thinking about that last week. I was looking at some races in the summer next year. Like there is like the Swiss Epic, for example. And I was just thinking about that last week, if maybe I should try that. So for this moment, I don't have a plan exactly if what I'm going to do or not. But it would definitely be something that, I think I could enjoy. I did the Swiss Epic in 2016. I raced it one time, and that was really nice and beautiful mountains and beautiful trails. So I really hope that I can do some more of that in the future.
One question about university. Did you go to university, and how did you manage to race and study while you did it?
So I finished my compulsory school in 2011. So that's when I was a junior, and then I was racing my bike. And then in 2016, after the Olympic Games of Rio de Janeiro, I decided that I really wanted to go to university. So I started in 2016, and for 1.5 years, I went to university in Zurich. I was studying history and English and French literature. And I had a really great time. I really enjoyed it, and I was so glad I could make this experience. But I also realized after 1.5 years that it was really hard to combine it with training and biking, and most of all the traveling when you have to go somewhere far away and you miss a lot of school. So then after 1.5 years in the winter of 2018, I decided, okay, that was great and I really enjoyed it, but now I want to go biking.
Yeah. Is there something you have in mind for after mountain biking at the highest level?
I don't. And I think it's a good thing that I don't, because I feel like if I already have plans, then I'm already getting closer to the exit door of racing. And at this point, I really love racing. That's all I want to do. And I just want to focus on that and do my very best. And, I'm sure when I want to stop or when the time is right, I will have a lot of ideas what I can do.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I think, for now, I want to keep it that way. I think, it's a good thing, and I really, really enjoy racing right now, and want to do that with my whole heart.
That's awesome. Just a reminder that the Brazilian Jaqueline Mourão, she went to the Olympics in Tokyo and she's 45 and she's still going for another Winter Olympics. So we're happy we're happy that
I know her actually, and she's also riding for track, and we've had we met each other in Novo Mesto on the track and had a really nice talk, and it's absolutely incredible what she does. It's really, really inspiring.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just to finish off our conversation, I would like to ask you if you have any advice for the younger female riders from Brazil.
Yeah, I think, find a group of friends. That's the best thing you can do. Find a group, other people, maybe the same age, if it's possible, that you can ride bikes together with, no matter if it's boys or girls. Just having a good community who, enjoys doing the same thing. When you go out, the numbers, that's not what matters. The numbers of your watts or heart rate or whatever. What matters is that you soak in the view and enjoy the forest and have fun on your bike, riding the trails and with the other kids, and keep it fun. That's the only important thing. Like, keep it fun, enjoy what you do, and the rest will come by itself.